What up, Spearos? Walking to the remote zone once again. Always on the lookout for that mutton AP, king, anything good, you know how it is.
After the long kick out to the zone, I've already identified a good cave, and I think there's a mutton snapper in there. I recommend getting a good breathe up before these dives in case your target fish rocks up or an unexpected issue arises. Thankfully, this Sama made it super easy for me, give me plenty of time to select and place my shot where I wanted. That Oceanammo 110 roller gives me a solid amount of range and good punching power, so this fish didn't stand much of a chance. With that shot, it was pretty much already stoned, so I just try to bleed the fish on the way up, get some of that blood out to preserve the eating qualities.
Nice spine on a little mutton.
At this point, I was so grateful to already have a fish to eat, so no matter what happens, it's going to be a good day. I scale and gut the fish as well, so that it can be eaten whole and enjoyed with friends. After that, I just keep looking in caves, trying to find lobsters or snappers. In this giant cave, I actually ended up seeing a huge mutton. He comes in here for just a moment, takes a look at me, and when I grunt, he spooks. I go across to the other side just to take a peek, and then return to the cave in case he went back down. Here I rattle my gun just to make a different sound that might attract him in. My mistake there was grunting too aggressively when the fish was already interested. That's something you should never do because you're only risking to spook the fish. Here I just wanted to share this clip so you can see the intricate landscape of these caves. Unfortunately, there weren't a whole lot of fish in this zone, but it's always important to be checking these in case there's a monster cubera. I really like these areas that have potential to hold large fish because I see a lot of podfish in there, but I'm more interested in waiting for something large. Exploring these big open cave structures in about 30 to 50 feet of water range is usually very productive for large snappers. It looks like a perfect environment for a cubera. As I was continuing to explore, this very small cero mackerel came in, and I decided to take it just so I could have sushi. As you'll see here, I approach a fishy looking small crevice, and I fully stick my gun into the hole, shake it around to make noise, see what happens. There's a nice yellowtail snapper that comes out, and I chase him down. But he outsmarted me, and I go up empty-handed. I definitely don't recommend chasing that fish so much. That was my mistake. Here we got a big Cuda. These dark ones, I'm not a big fan of them. They just look too aggressive and they make me nervous in the water. I did think it was funny the way he attacked my throw flasher and fully bit it. I did approach him, didn't really want to shoot it. It's nice to have chum, but I really didn't want to take out a big predator right now. On this dive, I approach another fishy looking cave. My strategy here is try to be relaxed, don't spook the fish, see if something will come out to investigate me, maybe a dog snapper, maybe a sama, something like that. I hit my gun against the reef just to try to draw something in. As I decide to go up for air, I see something insane. It's a stud mutton snapper. I don't recommend hitting the bottom again after you're on your way up. It's just not safe. But in this scenario, I felt comfortable pushing it and waiting for this fish. I know I don't have too much breath left, so I take the first shot he gives me, hit him in the body, and he takes off. I was nervous about that shot, so I let it run, and it looks like the spear came out right as he entered that cave. I was very disappointed here. I wish I would have just been a tiny bit more patient and gotten a headshot off on him. This was an irresponsible shot, and I can only blame myself for injuring that fish for no reason. I felt terrible, and in the future I try to limit these mistakes as much as possible. After all that commotion, the reef started to come to life. You can't see it perfectly, but there was a big nurse shark with multiple big yellowjacks cruising on top of it. Then I saw a nice cero mackerel, and I decided to go down, look at the mackerel, and then I approach the cave so that I can check for that mutton again. Anytime I injure a fish, I want to give it at least multiple drops so I can try to secure it Doing these repeat drops does get a little bit exhausting when you're solo, and without a flashlight at this depth, it was a little bit difficult to fully explore the cave. Here you get a good sense of how much life there was on the reef now. Big cuda, cero mackerels everywhere, and a lot of bait. When you shoot a big fish that causes a lot of commotion, the reef just comes to life and fish come out of nowhere to check it out.
Fish everywhere.
This next drop, a nice cero mackerel, hits my flasher. Every time I would randomly throw it, one of these fish would come in to investigate. He moves away, but I just continue my path to the flasher, going down to check it. Hopefully he'll come back. Just try to pay it no interest or you're just going to spook it even more. I really like this clip, just the way these fish are behaving. Watching them is so cool, but here we go. Trying to pick out the biggest one and absolutely whiff. The next drop, I randomly saw another nice mutton, but didn't pay him any interest. I already injured one and landed another, so no more muttons for me this day. That big barracuda is still hanging around, giving me a weird feeling. The amount of bait was insane, so I assumed soon enough a good fish would show up. I'm going down to retrieve my flasher, and as I do that, a nice cero comes in. I've never been so close to a nice one like this on the shot, and I just hit it while I was on my descent, which usually I don't do. I wait to level off with the fish, but it was literally right in my face, so I knew I wouldn't miss. I fully strung this fish, which means the shaft went all the way through the body, and it was just fighting against the string. When this happens, there's very little chance that you lose the fish because the shaft's almost acting like a slip tip. I was excited about this because it's really good eating, and I knew I was going to be able to share sashimi with my friends. Time to brain bleeded gut to preserve the eating qualities. The guts were producing a nice chum slick, so I was pretty excited because I knew it was already a really fishy day. Good amount of life here coming in, eating the guts. You see some more ceros, you see some yellowtail snappers down there, so I'm trying to reload as quickly as possible and get down. The yellowtail snappers are really skittish, but if you can get them eating chum, you do have a chance. And as you can see, they're coming way off the bottom to eat some of this chum. Now that I got my gun loaded, I'm dropping down, going after these snappers, trying to just stay vertical because these fish are extremely intelligent. I don't want them to know I'm hunting them. But as I approach the bottom, something else catches my eye. Two massive silver tails. At first I thought maybe it's a king mackerel, but then I realized they're big amberjacks. I start sinking towards its direction and he comes straight to approach me. I aim for the head and let it rip. I didn't get the stone shot, it went straight through its eyes, so this fish has a lot of life left in it and he's fighting hard. Since it went through the eyes, the fish is fully strung again, so I know I have him. You may notice the other amberjack is staying around, which is very common with this species. Ideally in this scenario, you have another diver so you can take both of them. At this point, you can see me struggling with the sheer power of this fish. I need to be careful here because that spear tip is aimed right at me. If the fish shakes and I'm in a bad situation, this could be very dangerous. I go straight for the gills, and once I have my hands on this fish, the size of it fully registered. He came in at 28 pounds. I go in to brain the fish, and this amberjack comes back to life, which is quite common for this species. I was impressed by the sheer power of this animal. Jacks tend to be a little bit more bloody than other fish, so it's extremely important you bleed these ones. Now it's finally time for the swipe. This Oceanammo roller has quickly become my weapon of choice. Now that I have plenty of fish, it's time to swim in, and I'm absolutely loaded from this shore dive.
Absolutely insane dive at the remote zone. Stud AJ. Stud cero. Not bad mutton. I'm gonna be able to feed my family and friends for a while. I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity to take these fish and have these encounters. And I'm gonna make the most of it, you know? And I'll just take...
press the red?
It's on already.
Oh, okay, perfect. So what's your plan for this?
Thanks.
Barbecue? Sell it out?
Barbecue and share with friends, I think.
Awesome.
Quite a lot of meat here. I was proud of these fish. First night, we had mutton snapper cooked whole and cero mackerel sashimi, my favorite personally. With the amberjack, I fully processed the fish, taking my time to cut out all the bloodline and bad pieces. I tested it myself for ciguatera by eating some, and when I was fine, I knew it was ready to share. This fish was fully consumed, probably fed about 10 people over the course of 2 different dinners, around a fire, shared with friends, the way spearfishing is supposed to be done.